Let no one keep you from your journey. No rabbi or priest. No mother who wants you to dig for treasures she misplaced. No father who won't let one life be enough. No lover who measures their worth by what you might give up. No voice that tells you in the night it can't be done. Let nothing dissuade you from seeing what you see or feeling the winds that make you want to dance alone and go where no one has yet to go. You are the only explorer. Your heart, the unreadable compass. Your soul, the shore of a promise too great to be ignored. Hello and welcome to the Short and Sassy podcast with Simone and today's episode, Choose to Begin. This poem, Breaking Surface by Mark Nepo, is a wonderful invitation to authenticity, to be bold, to rejoice in the beauty of being yourself. It's also a great reminder about setting boundaries, particularly during the creative process. One of the things I've noticed over the years of coaching and directing is how often we allow ourselves to be intimidated by, or perhaps unnecessarily influenced by, other people's work, and more importantly, other people's opinions. Have you found that the minute you start to share something about your creative process, something that you're working on, suddenly everyone's got a point of view about how you should be doing it, or how you should maybe, make it like this, or do it like that, or make this kind of change. And all that accomplishes is that it diminishes all that you believe that you are capable of doing. How often do we give other people's points of view more credence than our own innate knowing about what's right for us? And as a result, we sometimes squash our own creative exploration or output as a result of that. It's fascinating to me, and I used to see this all the time with the actors that I worked with when I was training them for fast turnaround film and television. They would spend a lot of time asking other people what they thought of the way that they were exploring the character, or whether or not they thought it worked well enough. Now, for some kind of instructional situations, of course, you're going to need that kind of feedback in order to grow. But when it's something that you're intrinsically linked with creatively, when it's your personal creative process you're questioning, then I believe you've got to trust your own gut. You've got to go on your own instincts. And of course, I believe as creative people, we are all far too quick to judge ourselves, to find ourselves lacking in some way, and to dismiss all that we are and all that we can be. I find it fascinating that when we choose to begin something, when we are about to step forward into that space of being a beginner at something, we are very quick to dismiss our instincts. We might find that we have this really powerful drive or pull to do something in a particular way. We get all fired up and excited about it, and then we ask someone else, a parent or a partner or a friend, do you think this wonderful, shiny, precious idea will work? And if they don't have your experience or background or even your perception, or if they don't really know what your drive or motive is for creating this wonderful thing, well then perhaps their point of view is not really going to be all that helpful. And let's face it, there will always be naysayers or crazy makers, as Julie Cameron calls them in her book, The Artist's Way. And it's up to you how much attention you give them, or whether you allow them to derail you or inspire you to greater action. Choose to begin. And then, of course, there's that other voice, the one we all have, the ego voice, the one that has far too much power over us, if we let it, the voice of the imposter syndrome, which suddenly sparks up with really unhelpful commentary such as, what if it doesn't work? What if nobody likes it? And for the entrepreneurs out there, you want to launch something into the world and suddenly that not so little voice says, well, who am I to think of myself as an expert? What if nobody buys it? What if people think it has no value? What if? What if? What if? And we allow that voice of self-doubt to completely shut down our creative flow, because suddenly that voice feels so much more powerful than our own knowing. And other times, that little voice can have a much louder, more insistent voice, and it comes from outside of ourselves. It might be well-meaning friends, or it might be parents, or it might be partners who have a point of view about how you should be doing this, or what kind of a career you should have, or what kind of business you should run. When I was training actors in fast turnaround film and television, one of the things that came up most often when I had my private mentoring sessions with these students was how often their parents would be against them having this particular career, a career in film and television, or just generally the whole concept of being an actor. And yes, it still seems to be one of those things where people have so many points of view about it as a career choice. And as a result, those students really struggled with their commitment to the process and to the learning. They gave so much power away to other people's points of view that they allowed themselves to be totally minimized and diminished and made to feel stupid and unreasonable for having this big, bold, beautiful dream. When I talked about this on a video recently, a wonderful friend made this comment. What she said was that when a question or a comment really gets you, like as in under your skin or challenges you, you could wonder, you could ask yourself, who is really asking that question? Is that the person, or is there a higher energy here offering me a challenge? Am I really sure? And if this person's question is enough to knock me off course, am I completely sure? So if I can hear it, thank it, the energy of that question, and feel more resolve, was it a gift? Even if the intention of the person may have been dubious. That's great food for thought, isn't it? And some great questions to ask. If you're being challenged by someone's response to your brilliant idea, to your baby, is it an opportunity for you to create even more clarity for yourself and commitment to that idea? For you, not to prove something, but to anchor that energy of clarity and commitment into your being. Choose to begin. Choose to take that first tiny baby step into becoming something bigger. It's relevant for your career, your business, your relationships, and your life. You will never be for everyone, and that's okay, because there will always be people who you are for. And that is awesome. Choose to begin. I encourage you to be bold, to explore, and to embrace all of your creative possibilities. We need your creative soul. We need the message that you and only you can share with the world. So do not let anything dissuade you from going where you alone can go. Choose to begin. You've been listening to the Short and Sassy podcast with Simone de Haas. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love you to subscribe. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can also find me on my website at www.simonedehas.com/podcast. Thank you so much for listening.